Hello, hello. Welcome to another edition of Pro Wrestling Weekly UK. Today we're going to discuss something very controversial in the world of wrestling, the rating wars. We're going to take a look at the consistent posting of ratings from social media users on Twitter, just over the web, about the AEW versus NXT ratings. Obviously, WWE doesn't care that much, but AEW does, because they're the ones that really are in a war to try and beat WWE. WWE doesn't see them as competition. We are going to take a look back at some of the actual ratings that these shows got, including Impact, TNA, WWE, SmackDown, and how the decline of ratings has happened in the world of wrestling. And then we're going to try and solve how well AEW are actually doing and look at who is actually winning the wars. Do you want to start with TNA?
So this particular episode, 10th of May 2012, had Austin Aries, Rob Van Dam, Bobby Roode, Jeff Hardy, and Mr. Anderson.
Okay.
That was the show. Not the best card I've ever seen, to be fair. That had 1.5 million viewers. Not really a great card, but yeah.
That just shows the massive difference in viewership now and back then. I feel like wrestling was more in its heyday in the early 2010s. I think there's a lot more people watching, and now we've had the gap of the Impact and / TNA not really showing anything to compare with WWE now. And I think with the sudden emergence of AEW for the last couple of years, I think the ratings will go up. It's just that they're trying to push it to us too much about beating NXT, and I think they're looking kind of stupid because of it. Because you just said that in 2012, TNA got 1.5 million viewers on a wrestling channel. Obviously, we know Spike Network. They used to host Raw, and so they were known for a wrestling show. And so Spike, with that Spike TV, I guess people would know that to watch wrestling on it, and that's why they might have got the viewers. I know after when they changed the network to Destination America, they did lose a lot of viewership. And after that, they went to Pop, and that's when everything went to shit. But
yeah, just going back to that, when they changed their channel, the end of 2014, they were averaging at just around 1 million viewers.
That's crazy, especially when people talk about it now.
1 million, 1.1 million, 900,000. And then the start of the following year, when they changed to Destination America, they dropped from the million mark to 380,000 viewers.
It doesn't surprise you that
just changing channel lost them.
Yeah, it's mad.
2/3 of their viewership.
That's crazy.
Which they didn't seem to recover.
This is the thing. We're talking about the ratings of now with AEW and NXT, and they were trying to compare with WWE by getting their whole show is getting 800,000 views consistently every week now, and only one brand of WWE is getting lower numbers, which is kind of crazy. Like how I just think that that AEW just being compared to NXT is I think it's rather stupid, because AEW is supposed to be competing with WWE. It feels like AEW is just competing with NXT. You know what I mean? So it just doesn't make sense. Like, why would you not aim to go against the whole company, not just a brand in the company? This is a crazy thing though, because they're on the TNT network, which is known for WCW. It's known to show wrestling TV as well, which is another crazy. I don't understand the viewership and how they're not getting more, because they're wrestling on AEW. I watch it nearly every week, and it is good. Like, it's good TV. Do you think that AEW just is trying to cram too much into one show just to get more ratings?
I think the ratings have become too much of an issue for the Wednesday night shows.
Do you agree with me with that AEW should not just look at one brand to go against; it should be going against the WWE?
Yeah, definitely. I don't understand why.
And if you think about it, the TNA went against WWE in it was the 2010s when Hulk Hogan joined. They said they go on Monday nights, and they were averaging 1.5 million viewers. It's madness that a company like AEW that's only 2 years old. I know they've got well-established wrestlers, but it's only 2 years old, the company, and they're trying to go against just a brand and not WWE. Surely, if you're a company that wants to proceed and like accelerate through the ranks, they should be going against the whole company, not just a brand.
Just looking at some of these viewer numbers, AEW Dynamite has been on TV for, what, a year and a half now?
Yeah.
And they've got over 1 million viewers 4 times.
What, in a year and a half?
In that whole time,
Wow.
they put out an episode nearly every week. I mean, some weeks they've missed due to other sporting events, but nearly every week they put out an episode, and they've only managed to break 1 million 4 times. And 3 of those times were the first 3 episodes. The first one was 1.4. The next week was just over 1 million.
See, is that not mad as well? So, thinking of who is in AEW and how quick they sold out their all-in pay-per-view, that they only reached 1.4 million homes on their first episode. That's mad to me. Surely I would think there would be more.
It should have been more when you consider the hype that they had, the hype that AEW had going into this whole show. The whole wrestling world was hyped up about AEW as a brand, as a thing, and to only bring in 1.4 million doesn't seem...
Well, we say only 1.4 million. It's a lot. We all know it's a lot. But with comparison to what they're against, it's nothing. It's crazy.
I mean, 1.4 million was the debut show, 2nd of October 2019. That's the highest viewership they've had to date. Their highest viewership was their first show.
And to be fair, when everything happened with the world, they did go down in viewership, and then they're all creeping back up, aren't they?
They're creeping back up, yeah. I mean, the past month or so, they've been around 800,000. So they are creeping back up. It just seems silly that this so-called war has been created in the ratings when NXT's ratings aren't that great either. I think AEW have won the majority of the ratings every week now, which tells you how poor NXT are doing as well in terms of ratings, that they're not hitting the million marks. I mean, they've only hit the million mark twice, and that was their first 2 episodes on the USA Network. And that was those 2 particular episodes were aired before AEW had aired on TV.
Right.
And those 2 particular episodes only aired the first hour, and the second hour was on the network.
Is it right? So
that was when they were transitioning onto TV, and then the 3rd week was when AEW launched, and that was the first head-to-head week.
This is crazy. Right? If you think about it, what you're saying right now, yeah. So NXT hit 1 million without NXT on TV, or without AEW on TV, yeah. So having this Wednesday Night War has either bring more fans into the world of wrestling, because if you add them together, obviously, say we add up NXT's ratings this week with AEW's, that's 1.4 million, and NXT was doing 1 million views at the beginning. So has that added 400 new fans, or has that decreased the fans of WWE that only watch AEW now?
It's hard to tell, isn't it?
It's crazy.
I mean, the debut episode of AEW had 1.4 million.
Yeah. Where have they gone?
The episode of NXT on that same night, October 2nd, had nearly 900,000.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So that's roughly 2.3 million viewers just in wrestling.
And that's the same viewership as like a good SmackDown show, isn't it?
Yeah, this last week's episode of SmackDown had nearly 2.3 million viewers, and that's kind of what they average around the 2 million mark most of the time.
That's mad.
And recently Raw's ratings have been declining, but they're still hitting sort of 1.8 million.
Do you just think it's funny how the flagship show is not doing as well as the second-rate show?
The flagship show hasn't been doing as well for a long time in terms of live viewers.
This is crazy. Do you know Impact Wrestling's numbers now, these days? What did they do last week?
I've got a couple of their numbers recently.
Yeah.
Jesus. Wow.
Are they bad?
Oh, wow. What happened on that episode? That's a decent episode in terms of a card.
Yeah.
The 11th of January 2019, Impact Wrestling featured the Lucha Bros, the Rascals, Willie Mack, Sammy Callahan, Tessa Blanchard, Callie Young, Killer Cross, and Johnny Impact. 12,000 viewers.
12,000?
12,000.
Whoa. What are they averaging?
So the 5th of January,
Yeah.
they did 148,000.
Jesus Christ.
And then going back in the weeks, they did 177, 220, 166, 168, 200.
Right, okay. That's cool.
102, 171. They're not great.
Right, I can go on. Right.
Hitting 200,000 is rare. They hit 200,000 once, and they hit 221,000 once.
Right, okay. That's cool. Right.
In the whole year. They're sort of averaging around 140. 130, 140.
Right, okay. If we're talking about a wrestling standpoint with the wrestling matches, like for the last year and a half, for a lot of people, Impact have had the better shows in wrestling ability, and their ratings are the worst I've ever seen. Like you have more numbers than me. You explain to them.
So in 2020, they were averaging at around about 140,000 viewers per episode. There was only 2 episodes that year that hit over 200,000 viewers.
That's crazy, man.
It's just a small cut of what Raw and SmackDown are doing on a weekly basis. It's only a small cut of what AEW and NXT are doing together.
I think that's madness because, like, for the last couple of years, I know obviously everybody's eyes are on AEW, WWE because it always will be now. But Impact had really solid matches and really solid wrestling. They had good surprises. They had good pay-per-views. I know recently the television time hasn't been that great, and I know they do a lot online now. But those ratings, that's shocking.
I've just looked at some viewerships
Yeah.
from the last week in January this year.
Yeah.
When you add up what Raw, SmackDown, and NXT did combined, they did 4.8 million viewers combined.
Yeah.
And the episode of AEW that week did 730,000 viewers.
Right, okay.
For people to be saying that AEW are winning this war and AEW are coming out on top against WWE, it's just nonsense because all they're doing is they're coming out on top against one brand, the third brand, which some people see as the third brand and some people still see as developmental. So it's not really a achievement in terms of WWE as a whole, is it?
No. Like, I know that like, the viewership for the whole of WWE is, for the last week of January, what was it?
Around about 4.8 million.
So 4.8 million, and AEW in that same week did 700.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why. I just don't. I think it's a lack of ambition. I know WWE's established, but those numbers are not great. Like TNA in its heyday was doing easy 1.5, so it's just crazy.
You obviously have to take into account that not all of those 4.8 are new viewers.
No, yeah, no, I understand that.
Some people will watch all 3 shows, but even when you take those away, it's still considerably higher than what AEW managed to do that particular week.
Yeah.
But I read somewhere, I don't know how true it is, but apparently on average, at the peak of the Monday Night Wars, both shows combined were bringing in around about 10 million viewers combined.
Really?
Yeah. And right now, combined, NXT and AEW are managing to bring in around about 1.5 million.
Crazy.
So, where's all the viewers gone? What's happened, considering it's a war between WWE and another company, and the other company being on the same channel as WCW were? You would have thought that would have sparked a little bit more interest. Clearly,
Yeah, I agree.
it just shows how much wrestling has declined in terms of viewership over the last...
I just think it's a lack of choice and a lack of because obviously we didn't have a lot for a little while, and I think it will come back. I think AEW will proceed and get a lot more views. I think WWE will improve as well. They need to. Even Impact, I'll just hope it'll happen sooner rather than later.
Do you think keeping NXT and AEW on the same night is a wise choice? Because I think one of those shows really would benefit if they moved to a different night.
Yeah, I think they're both suffering because of it.
If you had NXT a Tuesday night, for example, you might get more views on NXT, and then those same viewers would then be able to watch AEW the next night.
Do you know what they should do? This is, for me, yeah. One of them should move to a Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, it would be nice to have something on a Saturday or Sunday.
Because more people are, say, I know here in England, a lot of us have the weekends off, don't we? So I know a lot of people can really chill and watch it at night time, like 8 o'clock at night, something to watch before they go to bed. A lot of people really enjoy that, I think. I think it makes more sense with timing. On a weekday, you're not really going to stay up and watch in England, are you?
No, you're not going to stay up and watch the show live.
No.
Not when it starts at midnight or 1 a.m.
Exactly, because a lot of us need to be up. Like, it's just crazy. If I just think they should move to a different day. One of them should take the initiative. I know, obviously, pay-per-views are on a Sunday, but
even moving it to a Tuesday or a Thursday wouldn't be a terrible idea, because right now you've got roughly 1.4 million viewers, and they're having to choose between one of 2 shows. And then most of those viewers are probably watching the other show afterwards anyway.
Yeah, that's a good point.
For the sake of the ratings, because that's what networks look at, is how well you're doing as a show. For the sake of ratings, why don't one of them just move? And they might both be able to bring in around about that viewers.
Because I think as soon as one of them moves, the other company's going to think they won the fake war.
That is the problem. Yeah, one of them is going to...
And that's just arrogance.
They are going to claim they win. And I doubt, knowing WWE, I doubt they will be the one that make that move.
No, WWE would rather lose money because they're losing money with NXT UK.
They are not going to be the ones that portray themselves as the loser. It's not going to happen.
Vince doesn't lose.
So they are going to stick at it. But I think right now it's just hurting the shows because you've got so many fans on a weekly basis arguing that this show's better, that show's better. But you don't see those arguments happening between, let's say, Impact and AEW or Impact and NXT because they're on different nights.
I feel like the whole the friendship with AEW and every brand is also to get more viewers as well, just to say get Impact viewers to watching AEW as well as the other way around. So I think they're all trying to fight together against WWE, but it's never going to work.
I think in terms of the Impact deal, I think that benefits Impact more than it benefits AEW.
Oh, definitely.
Like I said, right now Impact don't have many viewers, so if they're hoping to gain viewers out of them, they've gone for the wrong deal. It definitely helps to get more eyes on Impact because some of those AEW fans might switch over, and more viewers is going to mean more opportunities. So that's better for us as fans.
Yeah.
I just feel this fake, almost forced Wednesday Night Wars is actually, it's more of a problem than it is entertaining.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a very good point. And I think that's where we should leave the video. Just we both think the whole war is fake. There is no ratings war. There shouldn't be a ratings war. And I think they should just stick to what they're doing and just see if they can do better. This has been Pro Wrestling Weekly UK, the ratings wars. Hope you enjoyed, guys. Stick around for the next video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on the notification button to be first in line to see the new content.